Um, okay. Man, I got like a million questions for you, but just listening to you here recently gave me a couple. Okay. So I think this is sort of a Neoplatonist position, or at least a question. Um, what do you feel about the existence of time and space? Like, do you think those are self-evident? Like they would have some sort of absolute existence,
No,
or
they're created. Why would they be absolute if they're creatures?
I don't know. I mean, I guess that's just the question. You know,
No,
uh,
everything other than God is created. Time and
okay.
space are created. So no, they're not absolute.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let me start by saying I am a Christian. I've been through a lot of different phases. I've done like the Gnostic thing, etc.
Okay.
But a conclusion I reached was that, given if we assume that time and space are infinite, if we assume that, then given infinite time and space, wouldn't God sort of emerge necessarily as an effect of that?
What? Why would you think that?
Well, it's infinite time, infinite space. So I guess the
No,
point is
we
like,
don't believe time and space are infinite. Like, where are you getting this?
I would say it is an assumption, but I'm just
Yeah.
sort
So
of explaining
why would we
my own
accept? Why would we
assumption.
accept that assumption?
Well, I don't know. I mean, that idea sort of just exists in the sphere of consciousness, I think. I can't really pinpoint it, but I know.
Can I just add something? Suppose they even granted that time and space were infinite. I don't know, in some type of Greek or Aristotelian sense. Aristotle and the Greeks knew themselves. It's still contingent. It's still finite in that sense. And what's contingent could never produce unbounded, non-contingent being. So no
Well,
matter
if
how
you read
much,
the second homily of Basil in the Hexameron too, he actually addresses this argument from Aristotle. Even if what is other than the first actuality is, even if it's contingent, like Basil argues that, but if you think that it's always actualized and it's eternal or infinite, then you've got another dyad. You're giving it divine characteristics and properties. Only God is eternal. Only God is infinite. So no, you can't have. I mean, you could say that there might be created atemporalities or created.
Right.
Maybe there's a created infinity that's the aeon, but it's still
Right.
not God's uncreated reality. But no, God doesn't emerge because God doesn't undergo change. To emerge is to or to undergo is to undergo change, and God is unchangeable.
Would you say this? Sorry, I'm really flustered right now, but I want to try to connect my thoughts into what we're talking about. Would you say that God has consciousness?
I mean, the teaching of the Bible and the Church Fathers is that God has a mind, and that there is
Okay.
a divine mind that all three persons of the Trinity share. But consciousness is maybe equivalent to that, but it's kind of a modern idea about, I don't know, what sentient versus non-sentient. But there is a divine mind, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, I guess without calling it God, I guess that would be more my theory for just like consciousness itself. Is that, I mean, of course we can say that God created it, and I believe maybe God just created the necessary conditions for consciousness to emerge. But yeah,
I mean,
if
you're
say God
using all this
created the,
weird, like, Gnostic terminology. We accept the teaching of the book of Genesis that God created man and directly created a soul. There's no emerging things coming out of, like, eternal consciousness. And that's all, like,
yeah.
Neoplatonic Gnostic terminology. You need to shed the Gnostic baggage.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like specifically trying to do that. Like, really, it's just kind of, I don't know. Like, I think about these sorts of things. I mean, I'm not like, oh, what are the Gnostic ideas, and then trying to echo those necessarily. But I don't know. It's just my own
Okay, well, the
thoughts.
doctrine of creation is that God created out of nothing, ex nihilo, all things that exist. And so everything that's not God is therefore created.
Okay. Okay. Um. Well, yeah. I mean, that gives me a lot to think about. But I guess I just find myself in a weird position because I was able to arrive at Christianity, yeah, I guess by thinking about this stuff, by contemplation, if you will. And you've given me a lot to think about, but it almost like
Okay,
it
but
almost
well, see,
refutes
but
my idea.
Christianity is not a thing that you contemplate or come to through the mind. Primarily, there might be indicators or signposts that point us through the mind. But ultimately, it's a system where we come into the church and we participate in the liturgy and we try to acquire the virtues. So it's not primarily a speculative Neoplatonic process or enterprise. It's a change of life through a community lifestyle.
So could you arrive at faith without reason?
I mean, that's not even relevant to what I'm saying. I didn't deny the usage or
have faith in God, right?
I didn't deny that reasoning plays a role. I'm saying that Christianity is not a body of intellectual propositions primarily. That's part of it, but it's a liturgical life that you have. That's what Christianity is.
Yeah, I understand. I guess I was just speaking to like what might be an individual's personal justification for engaging in that. You know, they would want to have faith because of, I don't know, their thoughts on the matter.
Yeah, I'm just saying that that's not really what Christianity is. Not an idea. It's a relationship.
Yeah, I follow.
Anyway,
Okay.
Good questions. I appreciate that. We're going to move on